welcome back to Neon Trash, all you cyberpunks and retro nerds out there. I'm your host, Tommy the Hammer. Today on Neon Trash, I thought we would discuss a specific video game, and since the entire state of Ohio is in complete and total lockdown because of the coronavirus, I figured now, more than ever, is a great time to bust out that old video game off of your shelf that's been collecting dust. And for me, that game happens to be Capcom's Devil May Cry 5. This game is awesome, and I am a huge fan of the Devil May Cry series. I've been playing the game since the PS2 era. But before I get to all the little nuances as to why Part 5 is so badass, why don't you guys check out that trailer, give that a peep, and when we get back, you're gonna know my total and complete opinion on Devil May Cry 5.
You never had this much trouble. You gonna make it through this?
They're demons! I've seen them with my own eyes! Red Grave is completely taken over!
Let us pray for mercy. This is a trial from the heavens above.
Hey, honey. Need assistance?
Hey, you have to hit every single bump in the road? Gonna ruin my crew! Cheer up, crew cut. You taking notes?
Yeah, he's a real pro at smacking demons around. That's why I built him that well-functioning arm. To kick demon ass.
What? No chit-chat or monologue? Just getting right to the point, huh?
My brilliant badass work is worth every dime, you know it.
Cash first.
Get back inside now! I've got a score to settle with that son of a...
Okay guys, it's like I was saying, I am a huge fan of the Devil May Cry series, but if you're unfamiliar with it and you don't know where this game series came from, well, strangely enough, Devil May Cry got its beginnings as a Resident Evil sequel. I guess the series producers thought that it felt far too removed, far off base compared to the rest of the Resident Evil series, so they kind of shelved that and moved on to what would eventually become Resident Evil 4. Meanwhile, we got the game Devil May Cry at the same time. And you know, I was always a fan of it. It really felt like it belonged, somewhat at least, in the Resident Evil series. I mean, the characters all looked very similar. The setting was very gloomy and gothic and horror-oriented. The only difference is, in the Devil May Cry series, it's a beat-em-up, a hack and slash, and damn, is it ever a good one. It comes down to Capcom's Devil May Cry games, I feel like they view each sequel as an experiment of sorts. Part 2 was completely different than Part 1, and it kind of polarized fans because the game producers dropped Dante's cocky and humorous personality in favor of a more dark and serious tone. Well, they kind of amended that in the third and fourth game, and then they tried to reboot it with DMC, which definitely polarized fans, but you know what? I played it and I actually liked it. These games are a hell of a lot of fun. So the question is, how does number 5 stack up compared to the rest of the games in the series? Well, in my opinion, Part 5 is the pinnacle of everything you've come to love and expect about the Devil May Cry series. So the question now, guys, is what do I give Devil May Cry 5 on a scale from 1 to 10? Well, I gotta say this game's a lot of fun, and in my opinion, it beats out the new God of War. So I'm gonna go a little high on this one and say that Devil May Cry 5 gets a solid 7.5 out of 10.